Hey folks, I hope everybody had a good weekend. Let's talk about some economics. So I've been asked a lot of questions about what people think about the housing market, where it's going. I continue to get asked a lot of questions about that. There's been a lot of speculation about it in trade journals and all that, and I've talked a little bit about it in past broadcasts. So generally speaking, I believe that the housing market has a lot of bandwidth left to go. And I say that for a number of reasons. And they are, first of all, the housing market at the last peak was 10 years ago. And we closed nationally 7 million residential resale units. And then 10 years later, last year, we closed 5.5 million residential resale units. So you're still 1.5 million residential resale units off the peak. Now, that takes into account the fact that we've got a larger population, right? The population's grown over the last 10 years. And also with an expanded population, we have, the inventory hasn't kept up, right? So we don't have a lot of new construction in most of the markets that we're in. And so the housing stock hasn't expanded. Then the next factor to that's millennials. The millennials tend to be a little bit later starters in life, and a lot of them really haven't hit the market yet. And that's anticipated to happen over the next, 3 to 5 years, right? So you've got a lot of these factors. Some of them are economics, some of them are demographic. Then the other remaining factor is the changes to the tax code. The changes to the tax code really haven't hit the bloodstream of the economy yet. In other words, right, the financial benefit of businesses, spending more money and people earning more money and keeping more of their own money has not really hit the economy yet. And over the last 10 years, there's been only a 1% increase in people's wages. And so as people start to earn more money, they'll invest more money, spend more money. The same will apply for businesses. So I think we've got probably a good 3 years or so, or possibly more, depending on how robust the economy becomes, of economic growth, all of which housing will benefit from. So if you hear any news about speculation about the housing market, is a bubble or something like that, I would just ignore it. Some of that might be regional to some hotter markets, California, Florida, Nevada, places like that. But here, I don't think that's an issue. One thing I would say, though, it's still a very common sense market. So if you've got a listing that's been on the market for a while, especially if it survived the whole summer and is not sold yet, then I would be thinking about how to reposition. So I would be thinking right now about how do you reposition your inventory to take advantage of the next 2 or 3 months, because we're going to have a really healthy fall, early winter market up until the holidays, of course. So just a little bit of market information for you. Sales-wise, last week, so we did 192 purchase and sales agreements. So that was the 12th best week of the year. Congratulations. And we did a $42.5 million in volume. So that was the 14th best week of the year. And that's really strong activity for post-Labor Day. So congratulations, great job. And then we did 109 listings, which is average. So, all in all, pretty strong performance. Next week, we start our TMG Connect meetings, and the meetings are already starting to fill up. And I'm planning to be at each meeting, so I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. And I got some really cool stuff for you guys. I'm anxious and excited for you to see it and learn about what your new suite of tools are. And one of the things that we'll be going into greater detail on is that we have the ability to upload your last 10 years of buyers and sellers from your closings, so we can help you seed your database if you don't have one, or you can cross-reference it, to make sure your database is accurate. And that's just one of the things we're going to be talking about. So you got some really cool stuff next week, and I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody. So have a great week. Take care.